And we are back from Western New York Gaming's preliminary Pro Tour qualifier for Pro Tour Dublin.
Yay.
I'm Tom Davis, that's Ryan Dunn, and we are in our top 8. So first of all, congratulations to all of our top 8, and thanks to everyone who voted on what they wanted to see in the top 8. The votes came back as Elves versus Red-Green Titan Shift.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, this is Breach Titan, my bad. So this is Breach Titan versus Elves.
True. Do you want to elaborate on the difference there?
Sure. So Breach Titan, rather than playing Scape Shift for a sudden win through Valakut and a bunch of lands, relies on Through the Breach, Primeval Titan, and Emrakul to close out games.
Yep, so the main difference is it's running, it's heavy on Emrakuls, and there's no Scape Shifts in the main.
Yep. Where Brett Dumain, we saw both of these players on camera throughout the day. Brett's on the Invitational winning Elves list that plays white sources for sideboard cards, but it's primarily just a mono green Elves deck. So players are shuffling up now. We'll be getting started with our top 8 in a little bit. Of note, the top 8 rounds are untimed. That being said, it looks like the vast majority of our top 8 is pretty aggro heavy. In fact, it's entirely aggro heavy, except for the Titan Shift decks, and they're still pretty fast.
Control is dead.
Control is dead! Fact or fiction?
Confirmed. Alright, we'll bring you down to the match. Players are about to draw their opening hands.
Yep. So again, for everyone coming out today to watch, for everyone watching on Twitch, wherever you are, thanks for spending part of your day with us. We know you could be watching Worlds, but instead you're watching Modern. So thanks so much for joining in.
Alright.
Both players look to be drawing their opening hands now.
Yeah, so this is a classic Modern matchup where both players are basically just trying to aggro out the other one. I would say that Nick has a couple of really nice control elements in the deck, especially in the form of Anger of the Gods. He has bolts for certain pieces.
Yep.
And I think Brett is basically just looking to Goldfish faster than Nick can get a Titan into play.
Correct. So both players kept their opening 7s, open up with a Valakut and a Lawnmower Elves, respectively. Never heard it called Lawnmower Elves?
I have today.
All right. Well, today you learned. All right. So Nick is going to play Stomping Ground into a Sakura Tri-Belter.
Early mana accelerants for both players.
Usually a good thing for both of these decks.
Yeah, you really need, like, the Breach Titan deck needs to do something by turn 2.
Search for Tomorrow would have been great.
Another quick Azuri. It's interesting.
Turn 3 Azuri, and he has to read exactly what Azuri does to be safe.
So of note, you can pay green mana to regenerate another target elf besides Azuri, and you can pay 3 green to give all your elves +3/+3 in trample. You can also activate that second ability multiple times.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the primary path to victory for this deck when it can do its thing.
Yep, so it looks like Nicholas sacked his Tri-Belter here to get a basic mountain. Just waiting for him to untap and go to his turn. Looks like he's very land heavy. Isn't particularly bad. It looks like that is a Search for Tomorrow. Is that what I saw? Yep, there's a Search. Just going to hard cast it and grab his land now. Going to get a basic mountain out of his deck, put it into the battlefield. Thank you.
Whoops.
All right. Let's see. He's going to go and play Farseek. All right, I see what he's doing here. Just shortcutting out the Farseek to be a little quicker to get his lands.
Yep.
Brett's doing some quick math to make sure he has the right number of lands. It should be noted that he now has 5 mountains, so each additional mountain after that is going to start triggering Valakut. Meanwhile, Brett's on 2 lands, Lawnmower Elf, Azuri, which lets us know what turn of the game we're on.
Yes, this was
it's a very fast start from Nick.
A great start for Nick. I believe he has a Titan in hand, right? At least
he
one.
has at least one. I think the other one might be Summoner's Pact or Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah, I think it's a Skoos.
All right, Coco from Brett.
That's pretty important.
Yeah, it is.
Because he needs to start getting ahead of I mean,
He needs to be able to handle a prime
it's
time.
going to be tough for it to be good enough because he can't. Like, Brett's not going to beat the prime time in combat, and he's going to just die really fast.
Sure.
If Nick wants, he can get a Valakut and a Mountain and just shock a couple of the creatures here. Oh, well, Spellskite changes that.
Spellskite and Dwarven Elite.
Yep,
So 3 creatures off the Coco. What?
It is not a dwarf, it is Dwynen's Elite.
I mean, you call Malira Malira, so I think we both get our faults.
I mean, people up here call Talia Thalia.
They call him Thalia?
Yeah, I've heard
Thalia.
I've heard Thalia and Thalia.
I think Thalia is correct.
I think Talia is correct.
I think you're wrong.
I mean, that might be like the very like Americanized version of the name. But...
I could say a few other words
so
here, but this is a family-friendly stream.
We got a judge call, so I'm gonna try to see what the question is.
Judge call away from the table. All right. Looks like Nick's back in his seat. I'm guessing it has something to do with how Spellskite works Valakut.
Yeah, so if let's see here. If Nick goes for this Titan and gets a Valakut and a Mountain, Brett will be able to, if he chooses to, redirect both bolts to Spellskite.
That'll be 6 damage, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So 3 and 3.
It should be noted, redirecting both of those will kill the Spellskite dead.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm not sure. So Nick has the option of just going upstairs, which makes a lot of sense because then he can attack next turn. But he's gonna just shoot the Spellskite twice.
Yeah.
So next turn, if he attacks with the Titan, it represents 12 damage.
Yep. Evil Titan.
And
the card commander couldn't have.
All right. So here's a land drop.
Yep. So that won't trigger Valakut on its own.
Yep.
But
So
on the
he's
fetch,
going
it'll
to-
deal 6.
He's gonna bank it for later because it gives him 2 bolts at instant speed.
Yep.
Which,
I mean, that's how normally bolts are.
yeah.
But 2 bolts whenever you want.
And with the land drop that he has in his hand, he can present lethal next game or next turn rather.
Sure.
So
Right.
if Nick isn't forced to crack this Bloodstained Mire to bolt some elves this turn, he should be able to just present lethal with the Titan attack trigger.
Well, he can regenerate another target elf with Azuri, so I think the first one would have to hit that.
Well, he can just go upstairs with all the triggers.
Sure.
Just ignore the elves completely.
Okay. That's a fair play, too. I'm just worried about that in case he gets an overrun, so...
So let's see how Nick wants to do this.
Nick attacking with the prime time?
Yeah, there's a couple ways for him to do it. So Mountain Valakut
I think
should be lethal.
He could also get double Valakut, but I don't think he's going to do it.
Double Valakut I actually don't think would be lethal.
It wouldn't be
would
lethal.
No, it would be. It'd be 24, right? Because
Mountain, yeah, there'd be 2 mountains and 4 triggers each. So 12 and 12.
yeah, 112.
So that'd be a nice 24 damage.
So there's just there's quite a few ways to get a lethal here. So all I has to do is
Fetch another mountain.
so it's worth updating the life totals here that
Yeah.
Brett is down to 11.
Yep.
In this, or actually don't know. I don't know where the Valakut triggers actually went.
He went to 9.
Yeah, and the trample.
Mountain, there
So
it
now
is.
play a mountain, fetch a mountain, should be game.
Yep, that's 9 damage. Alright, so Nick is going to take game 1 here over Brett Dumain. Breach Titan beats Elves in game 1. These quarterfinals are best of 3, as are the rest of the elimination rounds.
Mhm.
Unlike GP, or unlike Pro Tours, unlike SEG Invitationals, these are just best of 3 matches.
And I guess I didn't articulate it before, but I do think that this is a really bad matchup for Elves. They just don't have a lot of ways to disrupt those fast Breach Titan starts. And
Gotcha.
just really, the deck is built such that if you resolve and if a Titan enters the battlefield and you attack with it, it's going to give you enough triggers to present lethal.
Okay.
And if you through the Breach, you have 1 less land to kill with a Valakut, but you also typically get in a bunch of damage with your prime time to make up the difference.
Sure. So I'm looking at Nick's sideboard here. Couple interesting options here against the Elves player. Anger the Gods obviously coming in.
Certainly.
Thragtusk maybe. It depends on how much you values life gain.
It depends really what he
Might not
has
need
to
it.
cut.
Hornet Queen. Absolutely, I think comes in just for the death touch insects.
I think it's honestly too slow. So
Do
the problem with Hornet Queen is
It is 7 mana.
Yeah, against the elf deck. So I mean, you can like through the breach it if you want to.
Sure.
But
No, you're right. I think it's a little too slow. Crafter's Cage, no. Relic of Beginners, no. Choke, I think that was the card. No. And then the Lightning Bolt. He has 1 Lightning Bolt in the sideboard. So it's probably just going to be Anger and Lightning Bolt. He might bring in the Spell Skites if he knows Brett's going to bring in removal. But that looks like it's about it. I think Brett here is going to bring in Paths to deal with the Primeval Titans. Oh, what else? Maybe Atallah or Rhetoric? I'm not sure.
yeah, let me take a look here. Yeah, I think Eidolon again, the Breach Titan deck can also operate on one spell a turn easily. Who had Eidolon?
Else player.
Oh right. That is the one spell a turn one, correct?
Yep.
Okay. I think when we were talking about that card before, I thought we were talking about bringing it in against elves.
No.
Yeah. Because there are certainly elf draws that require you to cast a bunch of spells per turn. But,
yeah. But the awkward part about that is they usually have all their stuff out by the time Rhetoric is effective.
It's like Affinity. If you could start it, if you could start the game with it in play, it might be good. But that's just not how it works. Not a Leyline.
Yeah.
Man, there's not a lot.
Can you
Provoker.
Can you refresh the Twitch page? Robnik just said something about that top 8 starting. I know we are.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else to bring in here.
No. I don't think the sideboard's going to be particularly huge for either player, but there are relevant spells for both of them.
So Elvish Champion actually is probably going to come in because it's another Lord,
sure.
And it gives Forest Walk. So it gives elf creatures +1/+1 in Forest Walk.
So it's kind of like the Merfolk Lord just for elves.
Kind of, yeah. Costs 3 mana.
Gotcha. Look like both players are about ready. Again, we thank you for tuning in today to the quarterfinals of today's PPTQ for Dublin here at Western New York Gaming. I'm Tom Davis. Alongside me is Ryan Dunn, who tried to wave, but nobody could see him wave.
Reflex,
yep. And we're about ready to get started with quarterfinals. Nick Atollah is up 1 game over Brett Dumain, Breach Titan over Elves. Brett on our right will be on the play. It looks like by drawing our hands, there are 2 Through the Breaches, Valakut, and some lands, and a Scavenging Ooze for Nick.
Yeah, Scavenging Ooze is I guess it's a little bit of life gain to help stem an aggressive draw, but
yeah,
I don't think it's...
Doesn't look like there's too many threats right now. Is that a Pia and Kieran?
It is.
Yeah. Pia, Kieran, Alar is also in here for Nick.
Which, that one, unlike the Skoos, I do like, because you can just shoot down the problematic elves. You can shoot down the lords.
3 bodies you can just shoot. Yep.
And we'll see if Brett can find a 6 that he likes. Did you catch if Nick had any accelerants?
He did not.
Yeah, is it 0?
It was 2 Breach, 3 land, Skoos, Pia.
Yeah. So imagine if that Scavenging Ooze was a mana accelerant, and it would be significantly better.
Yeah. I think you'll take this 7 on the draw, though.
I do think that this matchup is primarily about speed, unless you have a card like Anger of the Gods.
Yeah.
You really, without the anger, you really are looking to just race.
Yep. Of note, Azuri's regenerate ability can get around Anger of the Gods, because the creature has to die for it to be exiled.
So if it never dies, it'll never get exiled.
It's never exiled.
Alright, so that's a Nettle Sentinel, a Court of Calling.
The correct Court of Calling.
I think a Heritage Druid, a Cell of Forest, and a Llanowar Elf, so this is going to be a keep.
Yep, looks like it.
See a Scry.
Didn't see what he scried, but he's keeping it on top.
Snapped it off.
Sub-Zero wins.
And we're ready to go with our second game of the quarterfinals. Brett's going to start on Forest, Nettle Sentinel.
Oh, interesting. So I think he does have the he might have land heritage druid.
Drizzle, we've been streaming since about
'Cause
10:15 a.m.
I know he has a Llanowar Elf, and he chose not to play it.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
He just wants to attack for 1 here.
2.
Here comes a lawnmower.
Okay,
Heritage
right,
Druid.
obviously,
Okay,
of
sure.
course, because he gets a free attack.
Yep, that's fine.
My mistake. So yeah, starting with the. So like I said, he had the Heritage Druid and the Llanowar Elf, which makes the Nettle Sentinel play make sense. I just forgot that he had the free attack with it.
Okay.
He's going to be able to make 3 mana, and we're going to see what the rest of his hand is, most likely. I don't think he has a 3rd land, which is pretty good, which means he has a gas. Llanowar Elf.
Anything else?
Ooh, so we're going to see a Bolt. Oh, never mind. No other spells.
Yeah,
I thought we were seeing a Bolt in response to the Llanowar Elf.
I think he just drew a Sakura Tri-Belter off the top there. Reasonable accelerant against elves.
Yeah.
Can block and sack.
Fog a little damage.
Yep. Looks like Nick's going to 16 here off the shock.
Ooh, sudden shock.
Speaking of shock, sudden shock.
I didn't even see that one on the board.
Was it main deck? Because I didn't see it in the board.
Oh, it isn't. It's, there's a main deck sudden shock.
A miser sudden shock. Ooh, saucy one up.
That is spicy.
And it's going to take out the Heritage Druid. Nothing you can do about that. Rex Sage, doing nothing.
That's got 2 power. Bang.
Rex Sage, not doing much.
That's
It will enable.
it does fail the vanilla test. That's for sure.
Yeah. Will enable some attacks, and if he gets another Heritage Druid, it'll let him tap 3 for mana.
Have we seen any of the draw steps this game? From Nick?
I saw Nick with a Sakura Tri-Belter off one of the draw steps. I think the second one was the sudden shock that was just played. Breach, Pia, land, search. Sure. It wasn't Sakura Tri-Belter or a search.
Yep.
Gonna get a mountain.
Basic, and it's pretty important in this matchup to just get basic mountains whenever you can, because you're trying to get to the Valakut triggers as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Robnik, as an Infect player, is not a fan of sudden shock. An island in his deck? I don't think so. I don't know what that would be in reference to. I don't see any blue cards.
No, neither do I. No islands here, Sneaky.
All right, so Brett's doing the big turn finger tapping. So let's see what he can deploy here. Yeah, he's doing some math.
The tap Morse code math.
All right, so I'm gonna. He has 1 forest over here. Oh, all right. Wait, I don't know what's happening. All right, it's a chord, I think.
Chord for 1.
It's a Mies 3.
Oh, okay, I see what he's doing.
I don't.
I think he's courting, yeah.
He's
Or
just.
he's attacking?
He's not. Well, he has a forest tapped. I assume this is a chord. What?
Ooh.
Chord for 1 still? Yep. What?
The chord for, I want to believe, 1, which will untap the Nettle Sentinel.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure what this is getting besides the dork. I mean, you can get Burnt and Forge Tender, but I don't think that's what he's going for here. Oh, right.
Heritage Druid.
Of course. Because he can just make
No.
3 mana right
Yep,
off.
and that's why he kept the Llanowar Elves up.
So unless he's going to combat, I guess he could finish with a green spell and attack with the Sentinel.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's always going to end up untapped.
Yep. Maybe he plays an Azuri or an Elvish Archdruid here. I didn't quite see what all was in his hand. There is an Archdruid.
Alright, yeah, so then
There's
waiting
an
makes
Elf Lord.
sense. Yep.
Yep.
It's gonna smash in for 3.
Yep. Because Archwood gets +2/+2 to other elves, correct?
+1/+1. And Brett's presenting lethal next turn.
Casually.
He's like, don't draw prime time.
P and K.
And he is no longer presenting lethal.
I mean, he was, and now he's not.
Yep.
Oh, mismatched Thopters. Nick, you're better than that.
So there are draws that kill Nick this turn. I don't know. So if he hits Azuri off of this Coco, it's interesting. So he's probably going to tap 2 lands and that.
I think he taps 2 lands, Idle Sentinel.
Well, he has to tap 3 elves if he wants to go about it that way.
Sure.
I'm just trying to figure out if he can. He should be able to string together a lethal overrun.
3.
So he taps.
Should be 3 elves, Forest, Coco, untap Sentinel, 3 lands, Azuri.
Oh, he just has the Azuri.
Oh, okay. That's fine too.
He drew that this turn, right? Because his last card was a Coco.
Yep.
So we can attack with these creatures and overrun. And that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 damage. So that's just lethal, right? Yep.
Yep.
So I guess just drawing the Azuri is better than trying to Coco into it and then activating Archer after that. It costs 1 less mana.
Best way to win. Draw it. Just draw it.
Yeah, so a reminder, it's trample and +3/+3, so it's and then +1/+1 for the Archdruid. So each of those have an extra +4/+4 plus their base. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Yep.
-4 power and block.
And Nick, after taking a second to verify the math, will scoop up. Brett Dumain evens up the match at 1-1.
Yep.
Which means Nick on Breach Titan will get the last chance to play in game number 3 here.
It's a classic modern matchup. 2 decks just trying to kill each other as fast as possible.
Yep. Just as Watsy intended.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think Through the Breach is too strong in this format?
I don't think... Have we seen it Through the Breach?
We've seen 1 copy today. We threw the Breach to Titan to win the game.
Yeah.
And it was by Nick.
It's like, I'm wondering if this deck even needs Through the Breach. Obviously, the nice thing about Through the Breach is it can typically get you 1 turn faster.
Oh, Loki brought up a good point. He untapped his Idle Sentinel and started turn.
That is a good point. I didn't catch that.
Neither did I.
Of
More
course.
judges.
I mean, yeah, he did open up the turn with a green spell that he could have cast, right?
Yeah,
And
so ultimately it didn't matter. But
that's a good catch, though.
yeah.
We'll keep an eye out for that.
Do you want to let Jimmy know that happened? So that Joe can be aware of it? Mom started turn. Cool. Alright, so game 3 it is. Who do you think's favored game 3 here with Breach Titan on the draw? Or on the play, rather?
Nick still.
Nick still?
I think he was favored last game, too.
Okay.
He had a
Brett
bit
just
of a,
had the draws he needed?
Yep. Like I said, Brett just doesn't have the tools to interact in this matchup, so he's trying to just deploy his threats and overrun as fast as he can.
Yep.
But I think he's just a little bit slower. And there's a mulligan. Brett was on 6 last game too, right?
Yeah, he was. He had a very good 6. And then 2 good draws. Alright. So our front of store is aware of the Nettle Sentinel situation.
Yep.
Don't make sure it doesn't happen again. Nicholas has kept 7 cards. Brett's going to 6. And you gotta be happy for Nick here. I think Elves is one of those decks that doesn't mulligan as well as some. Mulligan's okay.
against a deck that isn't removing your elves so much. I mean, obviously Nick could have a draw with like
he has
Anger
bolts.
or bolts.
Yep. He has
But
bolts and sudden shocks.
Anger is going to be bad no matter what.
Sure.
But in a deck that's not necessarily trying to play control, just mulliganing to a fast hand is the most important thing.
That's fair. Yeah, while we're waiting for the game to start, for everyone watching on Twitch right now, again, thank you for watching today. We know there's a lot of other Magic you could be watching, but instead you chose to watch some Modern. So we appreciate it, and thanks for coming out today.
Ooh, that's second Azuri straight to the bottom.
Yep, didn't even think about it.
So I can't... I know there's an Azuri there. Let's see if there's a Wonder. Alright, cool. There's a 1-mana accelerant.
Alright, so Nick leading off with Valakut, Brett leading off with the Lawnmower.
Looks like we'll see a land and a Farseek here.
Yep, probably Stomping Ground Farseek. Get Cinderglade.
Yep. I mean, Forest isn't unreasonable here.
It's not.
It depends what the rest of his hand is. Like, if he's going for a Through the Breach Titan, alright.
Stomping Ground Farseek Cinderglade.
Yeah, if you're just trying to set up for a Through the Breach Titan, then you certainly want the Stomping Ground.
Yeah. Well, just gonna get a basic mountain.
That's interesting.
Standard is boring even with pros playing.
That's interesting. I'm not sure.
Not sure why he didn't get Cinderglade there.
He might have a Cinderglade in his hand. That's
Sure,
I would guess.
that's fair.
And he can also just fetch Cinderglades. Like once he gets 2 basics into play, he can start fetching Cinderglades if he needs to.
Yeah. Looks like that's a Tom Ross Pendelhaven.
Sure is. Yeah, it's the
gonna be
wrong deck for that though.
Heritage Druid, Elvish Mystic, into Azuri.
He has a lot of fast Azuris. I bet he'd wish these are Elvish Archdruids though.
Probably, yeah.
That's typically a better elf to just like run out.
Yep. I mean, when in doubt, just draw it.
Yeah. So for example, next turn Brett could overrun,
Yeah.
but with 1 attacking creature, which isn't very exciting.
Wee.
So it looks like we're going to see a land and a Sakura Tri-Belter this turn.
Reasonable
And
Walker.
I don't know what the last card in Nick's hand is. I know he obviously has
It's all
that
through the breach. Yep.
but there's a card behind it too.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Oh, it's a
That's
Summoner's
Summoner's
Pact,
Pact?
which is going to actually
Matter.
likely be game next turn.
Jeez. Alright. So Sakura Tri-Belter resolves.
Yeah, this is about to get nasty. Brett is going to die if he doesn't leave back a substantial amount of blockers here.
It's about to get nasty.
So he's holding up. He's holding up a core. Oh, he's holding up an overrun, I guess.
Yep.
If he's going for the overrun, the game's over.
He just did.
Yep.
He just tapped out.
All right, so he's gonna sack, take a bunch of damage.
But get his land.
Doesn't really matter what he goes down to.
There's
I
a
think he's
second land.
taking 6,
I think
7,
he's
8,
taking
9 here.
8 or 9. Alright,
there is a
9
two,
because
so-
he's the trample.
Yeah,
Even with the sack, the trample will come through.
Right, it all comes through.
Yep.
Yeah, so what we're gonna see is like either the Sworded Foothills or the Mire is gonna get sacked. We're gonna see it Through the Breach getting a Valakut and a Mountain dealing 6. Then we're gonna see 6 damage from the Titan, and then 12 additional damage from the Titan attacking and fetching 2 more mountains. This is
Yep.
going to be.
Or it could be Summoner's Pact and the Emrakul.
I think it's a. Yeah, you can't actually do that, right? Unfortunately. Oh, there is a Hornet Queen in there.
Ah, see?
Interesting.
Called it. Too slow. I'll play it on the draw.
Yeah, Summoner's Pact. I assume a.
I was being moderately sarcastic.
The funny
but-
thing about the joke too is that like it's actually like way worse because it doesn't even kill all of Brett's permanents.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean he's
he's very dead.
there's no need to go for Emerald. Even if we could go for Emrakul, it wouldn't matter. I'll just update the life total. Here.
Draw Lightning Bolt.
So hold priority. Oh, you just drew the Titan. Oh no! Okay, so Nick just He
think he did it
got
right.
away with it. It looked to me like he threw the breach and
Let it resolve.
Oh man,
That was almost really bad.
I don't know if Nick is gonna. Okay, he is. He's gonna. It's gonna happen the way we want. Yeah, so if you cast through the breach and your opponent says, fine, that's good, you've missed your chance to cast Summoner's Pact. But if you say, like, through the breach, hold priority, cast Summoner's Pact, or just through the breach, Summoner's Pact, you can just like do it all at once and it's fun. So we're going for the
Going
triple
for
Valakut
6.
kill.
Going for 6 on the attack, getting 2 lands, hit him for 18 and kill him.
Yep, we're going to do 6 damage 4 times here. 6 from the prime time, and then 6 from each of the Valakuts. 24 damage.
Alright, and that'll do it. Nicholas Atollah
Alright.
breaching out a win in the
Okay.
quarterfinals.
Move
We'll
on
see
to
him in
the
our
semis.
semifinals. And we'll see if there's any other matches going on. I don't think there are from looking at our camera up front.
But we're going to cut it to commercial, and then we'll be back shortly.
Yep, we'll be back for the semifinals in just a moment. Thanks for coming out.